So you see, Mr. Bardich, this is what BCG says. She says she remembers meeting with the elders, that's you and Mr. Roy and Mr. Ally, by herself on a number of occasions for a couple of hours at a time. On one occasion, you brought her father into the room so that she could tell him what she had told the elders. She cannot recall exactly how many times she had to meet with the elders. She didn't want to be there. She felt so uncomfortable. And she says, I had nobody to support me. I don't remember anyone really explaining the purpose of the committee meetings to me, but I understood at the time that the elders were investigating what I had alleged. And then if we look over the next page, perhaps you can read 43 to yourself. And then you see in 44, she says, because the elders were all male and all were friends of my father's, I was reluctant to speak to them about what had happened. Unless they asked me a direct question, I didn't really offer the full detail of the sexual abuse. So you'll appreciate that the constraints that BCG felt under about being able to speak freely.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I think in your statement, you recognize that in the sense that you say the story came out in bits over time. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And do you appreciate or do you accept that it's not a process, I withdraw that, a process where the victim has to put her allegations to the accused in front of a number of men is not one that's conducive to arriving at the full story?
I can understand that, and I felt for her then, and I'm still feeling for her now.
It's not a good process, is it?
Could be better.
Yes.
I think that's what we're all trying to arrive at here, is processes that are better for ones that are victims.
So if we might identify the respects in which it might be made better. Firstly, that a person raising sexual abuse allegations have someone with her to support her if she should want it. That would be an improvement, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And that she not be required to put those allegations in the presence of her alleged abuser. That
yes.
Yes. And that she not be required to put it to a committee of 3 men. That would improve it, wouldn't it?
Sorry?
That would improve the process, wouldn't it?
Yes, the committee of 3 has got a purpose, because every one of us will hear different things, and it's to make sure that we get to the truth as much as we can.
Well, what BCG is really saying here is she felt unable to tell the whole truth, in part because she was having to say these intimate things to 3 elders who were friends of her father. That was hard for her.
At that time, we thought that he was a disgusting man. We believed her 100%, and we just wanted to see him out of the congregation.
Mr. Bowditch, that's not the point of the question.
Oh, sorry.
The point of the question is that the process that you engaged in required this young woman to disclose intimate details about what her father did to her sexually to 3 men, each of whom was a friend of her father. Now, do you not understand the difficulty that a young woman would have disclosing personal sexual details to 3 men?
Yes, I understand that, Your
Is it
Honour.
appropriate that your processes require that to happen?
I understand that, Your Honour.
Is it appropriate?
Is it appropriate? Probably could be a better way of doing it.
What's the better way?
I am unsure of that.
When you do understand, I assume, how difficult it would be for a young woman to speak in those circumstances.
Yes. Your Honour.
Can we look at paragraph 5.1 of your statement? That's at page 0004 on Ringtail.
Sorry, what was the number again?
Page 5. Paragraph, I beg your pardon, 5.1 of your statement.
Yes.
You'll see under the heading, the decision of the elders in the Mariba congregation to disfellowship BCH in 1989 and the reasons for that decision. And you say the decision to disfellowship was based on his immoral relationship with another woman and leaving his wife and family, and his lying about this to the elders. I recall also that we felt the sexual abuse had been established. The appeal committee confirmed the decision to disfellowship him. Both committees found that he was unrepentant. Now, in fact, you did accept, in the sense you believe BCG's allegations about her father, didn't you?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
You personally, you believed what BCG told you about her father.
I believed it right from the start.
And is it right that her father admitted those allegations in the presence of the committee eventually?
In the presence of the appeals committee.
Yes, well, you say that in a paragraph I'll come to in a moment, but dealing first with the judicial committee, did he not admit it in the presence of the judicial committee?
Not to my recollection, no.
Take a look at tab 3 of the tender bundle. Perhaps we can scroll down and show you the foot of that page as well, the end of the document. It's just a one-page document. You see it has your name, and I take it that's your signature, is it?
Yes, my signature's on top there.
Yes, and this is the report of the Judicial Committee back to the branch office on the disfellowshipping of BCH, is that right?
Yes.
When last did you have the opportunity to look at this document, Mr. Bardage?
Probably 26 years ago.
You haven't seen it in the last few days or few weeks?
No.
Right, let's scroll to the top. I'd like you just to read it to yourself, and at the end of it, see if you agree that there's nothing in there about BCG's allegations about her father.
No.
Yes. Now, what did you, by which I mean, what did the Judicial Committee decide with regard to BCG's allegations?
With putting it in this document?
Well, it's not in the document, so
No.
I'm asking you, what conclusion did you reach with regard to the allegations that BCG made and which you investigated?
We believed BCG from the very start. We never believed BCH, I think it is.
Her father,
Yes.
yes.
We never, ever believed him, and that's why we pushed, if you want, that's why we tried so hard to get him removed from the congregation.
And you removed him on these grounds of loose conduct and lying
Yes.
related to his relationship with another woman.
And also, that lying, I'm not real sure now because I cannot remember the total details of that, but I think that lying would have come in with the allegations about BCG.
On the scales on which you deal with these things, how do you compare the seriousness of sexual abuse allegations and, on the one hand, compared with pursuit of an adulterous relationship on the other?
My personal opinion right now is I would consider that any abuse is going to affect the person. Just trying to think of a better word.
Well, it's far more serious, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a criminal offence to start with. Sexual abuse, child
Yes.
sexual abuse is a
Yes.
criminal offence. Yes. And back then, in 1989, you would have had that same view, I take it. You would have regarded
With a passion.
sexual abuse of a daughter by a father, firstly, very seriously,
I've got a daughter of my own around the same age. So yes,
and more seriously than the pursuit of an adulterous relationship by someone.
personally, that is my opinion. The Bible would state it as bad as, if not worse.
And in reaching a decision, you and your colleagues on the Judicial Committee, I suppose, were applying the Bible standards, were you?
Can I just have that again, please?
In reaching a decision on the Judicial Committee on these matters that were before you, were you applying the Bible's standards as to the respective seriousness of the two different sets of allegations?
We were applying the Bible standards at that
Yes.
time.
In other words, you were regarding the sexual abuse allegations as being of the same degree of seriousness, or perhaps less than, the allegations of the adulterous relationship.
Definitely not.
Well, if that's so, how do you explain that this report doesn't mention anything about the sexual abuse allegations?
I'm unsure on that.
And at that stage, in other words, when you reached your decision, you also knew, did you not, that the elder daughter had said that she had also been abused by her father?
I can't remember that at that stage. I'm not, I'm not trying to skirt around it.
So it may have been like that.
I'm unsure.
And that the mother had reported that the two younger daughters, who at this time, 1989, were still quite young, had also been abused by the father.
Don't remember that.
Was the problem for you here that you somehow regarded the two witness rule as applying and you didn't have a second witness of the actual events?
That wasn't the case.
Well, what would appear to be the case is that you didn't uphold the sexual abuse allegations. Are you able to explain why not? Why is there not a finding recorded here by your Judicial Committee that BCG had been abused by her father?
unsure, but I would rather guess, because he was not admitting to it at that time, but I am unsure.
You say that's a guess.
Beg your pardon?
You say that is a guess. You guess.
I'm not saying for sure, yes.
Yes. No more questions, Your Honour.
You say, although it may have been that he wasn't admitting to it at the time, you've said a number of times now that you always believed BCG.
Yes.
Why wasn't that enough to found a decision to disfellowship?
On those grounds, I am unsure, and I don't know why we didn't put that in there. But at the same time, he was being disfellowshipped.
Yes, but you understand that for BCG, the trauma of having been abused and then the traumatic experience of being interviewed by the three of you, having to confront her father, and then the decision that you make, paying no regard as recorded to what she went through and the process of your committee. Do you understand that in itself
Yes.
was an extraordinarily negative thing for her to receive?
I can understand that, yes.
Well, can you give me any explanation as to why you let that happen?
Yes, Your Honour. Yes, thank you, Mr Burridge. My name is Ms David and I represent BCG this hearing.
Sorry, I'm having trouble.
My name is David and I...
Maybe just move that microphone
Yeah,
so your
Sorry.
voice
Yeah.
captures his
Thank you, sorry.
my name is David and I'm representing BCG at this hearing. And I just have a few questions for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Just on the point of, because the allegation was not substantiated under your judicial committee proceeding, do you agree that therefore it was not known within the congregation that in fact that BCH had been, what was known to have actually abused his daughter sexually?
That would,
Well, it was not...
yeah, just clarify that a little bit and I will give you the truthful answer.
If you go to your statement, if you please go to your statement,
What page?
8.1, and that's number, it's 8.1.
8.4.
Do you agree that you've stated in your evidence that the reasons for BCH's disfellowship, as we've established, had nothing to do with the allegation from BCG?
So what it's saying that
Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like, maybe even comment. If you watched it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching, and bye for now.